Hello and welcome to your news and features electronic magazine that centers on the different facets of motoring. Now in its 34th year, this is Motoring Today. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss how motorcycle taxis can be safe for public use during the pandemic. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on rules regarding traffic lights. This week's Buying Chuper shall be about following loading and unloading rules. The public service segment centers on overspeeding buses on the EDSA busway. Showcase this week shall have the pickup from Isuzu, the 2020 D-Max Boondock 4x4 MT.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. Bike riding is being encouraged as a safe mode of commuting. The light rail transit lines and the Philippine National Railways are supporting this by installing bike racks. Many have taken to using bicycles while public transport continues to be limited under community quarantine restrictions. But certainly, there are limits to how far someone can bike to work from home. One alternative mode of commute is biking to a light rail transit station, park your bicycle, and take the train. When going home, take the train back to the station and then bike homewards. The Light Rail Transits 1 and 2, the Metro Rail Transit 3, and the Philippine National Railway have installed bike racks at a number of their stations. LRT1 at the Central Libertad stations, EDSA Taft, and soon at the Baclaran station. The Light Rail Transit Authority, who operates the LRT2, also installed racks at the Pureza, Vimapa, J. Ruiz, Gilmore, Petigo Belmonte, and Legarda stations. The MRT3 now has street-level racks at North Avenue, Quezon Avenue, and GMA Kamuning stations. Use of racks is free, but bring your own padlocks and chains to secure your bikes. Another caveat, train authorities will not be responsible for damaged or stolen bicycles. Bike racks should be installed in all establishments for bike riding to become a normal mode of commuting in the new normal. Motorcycle makers are weighing in on the requirement of a shield or barrier between rider and passenger on a motorcycle. Here is what they say about the Bohol model approved by the IATF. The Motorcycle Development Program Participants Association, Inc., or MDPPA, has come out against installing any fixed barrier or shield on motorcycles to allow tandem riding during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF-EID, has earlier approved 2 designs for use as barrier or shield between rider and passenger on a motorcycle. One was a design submitted by Bohol Provincial Governor Arthur Yap, which uses a clear acrylic barrier held by a steel frame attached to the passenger foot pegs. Proposed by Angkas, the other approved design is a more flexible plastic shield worn like a backpack by the rider with strategically placed hand grips for passengers. In a press statement, the MDPPA, which counts makers and distributors of Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha motorcycles, said, additional fixtures, such as the one proposed by Governor Yap, will negatively affect stability and handling of a motorcycle, thus inevitably compromising safety of its occupants. The MDPPA added that this shall be a breach of the warranty agreement between the motorcycle owner and the manufacturer. The motorcycle manufacturers maintain that the wearing of at least half-face helmet with closed face shield, more so together with a face mask or balaclava, is already an excellent measure in preventing infection. It is only right for motorcycle manufacturers to have a major say in regulations that may affect the safety of their patrons. Riders must listen and take caution. Still, at the end of the day, riders have to decide on what kind of approved shield or barrier design they use when riding in tandem. Motor vehicle owners are scrambling to get their registration renewed. One bottleneck in the process is emissions testing. The DOTR is working to remove that bottleneck. The DOTR has acted to remove a bottleneck in the process of renewing certificates of registration for vehicles. After more than 2 months of a stoppage in the operation of the LTO and the Private Emission Testing Centers, or PETC, and with extensions granted to owners of vehicles with certificates that expired during the MECQ, the LTO and the PETCs are now struggling to cope with backlogs after resuming operations under GCQ. The LTO has streamlined its operations to cope with the backlogs, but there's a bottleneck at PETCs, which have limited hours and a cap in the number of vehicles it can test. Meanwhile, the PETC's authorization to operate are also expiring. To remove the bottleneck, the DOTR extended PETC hours to allow emission tests from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and removed the cap on the numbers of tests it can undertake. It also granted PETCs an extension of their authorities to operate. DOTR Undersecretary for Administrative Service Artemio Tuazon said these complied with the directive of Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade to assist more vehicle owners who need to secure their certificate of emission compliance, which is a necessary requirement in vehicle registration. Until things return to normal, or at least the new normal, it may be a good idea to continue with the extended hours for PETCs to prevent crowding. It's good news, bad news time. The good news, MRT-7 construction goes on. The bad news, motorists have to deal with traffic adjustments at the elliptical road. Motorists who frequently pass by the Quezon Memorial Circle are advised to take note of traffic adjustments at the elliptical road to make way for ongoing construction of segments of the Metrorail Transit Line 7. The MMDA and the DOTR Traffic Management Task Force have announced that at the elliptical road, Commonwealth Avenue, the 3 curved lanes going to North Avenue and Visayas Avenue will be transferred to inner lanes on July 28, 2020. It added that starting July 31, 2020, vehicles will pass through curved lanes at Elliptical Road, North Avenue, as the current construction fence at the side of the Quezon Memorial Circle will be moved towards the middle lanes and the construction fence at the corner of North Avenue will be pushed back. The MMDA cautioned motorists to follow the yellow solid lane marking and avoid swerving to prevent accidents and reduce traffic slowdown. It added that the traffic adjustments will be imposed until November, when construction of the tunnel guideway going to and coming from the Quezon City Memorial Circle Station is completed. As of June 2020, the 22-kilometer project is 58.95% complete and is expected to serve 300,000 to 850,000 passengers per day. It's the same story for every major or even minor road infrastructure project. As with another cliche, no pain, no gain. One thing good though, construction provides jobs during a time when jobs are scarce. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. Under COVID-19 restrictions imposed by the IATF, there is a severe shortage in public transport in Metro Manila and other urban areas hit by the pandemic. Buses, modern and traditional jeepneys, rail services, tricycles, taxis, express shuttles, these are not enough. Perhaps motorcycle taxis can and should be added to the mix. But how can it be made safe against the contagion? Motoring Forum weighs the pros and cons. Motorcycles are considered one of the safer modes of personal transport amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Many health experts agree that it is almost impossible to get infected by the coronavirus while riding a motorcycle in open air, wearing a mask or balaclava, and the mandated helmet with visor. They also agree that there is a much greater chance for passengers riding in air-conditioned vehicles, especially sedans, breathing in recirculated air to spread or get infected by the viruses. However, safety amidst the spread of viruses while riding in tandem is still up for debate, at least within the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF-EID. Angkas, the local pioneer of app-based motorcycle taxi services, wants to weigh in that debate. The IATF is now allowing riding in tandem, but only for married couples and live-in partners living in the same domicile. And they have to use a shield or barrier of approved design to prevent contagion. The IATF has approved two designs, one proposed by Bohol Governor Arthur Yap, which calls for a clear acrylic shield framed by metal tubes affixed to the motorcycle. The other, submitted by Angkas, uses a shield made of high-density plastic and worn like a backpack with strategically placed grips for passengers to hold on to. In designing the prototype shield, Angkas consulted with Lee Parks, president of Total Control Training in California, a multi-awarded and well-established institution for motorcycle safety. At a recent online press conference, Parks said that the Angkas design met all his concerns about placing a protective barrier between rider and pillion passenger on a motorcycle, including how the barrier would affect motorcycle ride and handling. Parks came to Metro Manila to test the use of the motorcycle passenger shield both as rider and as passenger, and found it to be safe.
The fact that you're able to put it completely on the driver and you're able to test, as Angkas has extensively, at different speeds, different wind conditions, different traffic conditions, it's very easy to know whether or not it's something that hinders their ability to control the motorcycle. Once you start attaching hard objects, especially large, flat pieces of material that are going to act as sort of aerodynamic sails, like a sailboat would have, or a wing, then all of a sudden you run into problems with how that can affect the motorcycle's handling. And there's a reason that motorcycle manufacturers don't provide mounts for things like this. It's because they would have to be extensively tested. There's too many variables involved. And so I think very elegant solution of it having just attaching to the primary driver is really just kind of an ideal setup. And as George pointed out, for a very reasonable cost, you can add this extra layer of protection in. And it also has extra side benefits.
Parks said that while the shield can firmly maintain its shape during a ride, it remains pliable in case of a crash, providing safety to rider and pillion passenger. In coming up with its motorcycle passenger shield, Angkas meant to put another barrier against contagion aside from the protection of helmets, masks, and balaclavas, according to Walter Wong, Angkas head of marketing and special projects.
The key part is that we add multiple layers of protection. The visor and the mask are already protective on their own, but given that we are talking about motorcycle taxis and you'll be taking possibly multiple passengers in a single day, you want that extra layer of protection. Essentially, you have a barrier, right? And it's very straightforward. It's something that blocks the virus because essentially the spread is one way. But you have a driver and a passenger facing one direction, both the same direction. So most likely the transmission is going to be from passenger to driver rather than the driver backwards.
Angkas partnered with the University of the Philippines College of Public Health, or UPCPH, to come up with recommendations on how to make motorcycle taxi services relatively safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic. At the digital conference, Dr. Vicente Belizario Jr., UPCPH Dean, indicated a barrier between rider and passenger is just one of the aspect of protocols for the safe resumption of motorcycle taxi operations. The others include disinfection of motorcycles after each use, at least the frequently touched surfaces, hand washing or use of sanitizing gels, passengers using own helmets, wearing of masks, and cashless transaction. Angkas Chief Transport Advocate George Royeca said that the use of shield would be complemented by public behavior that conforms to health protocols.
Angkas has always been in the spirit of collaboration, and we believe that's key. We are 100% with user and also with the government in how we can ease into this new normal. No, let's help each other in a collaborative effort to co-create what is the new world. And hopefully we can all live in the new world relatively safe.
There is always a risk of infection when taking public transport. The most important thing is reducing the risk to levels acceptable to health and other safety experts. Every mode of public transport allowed to operate should do so under protocols mandated by the IATF to reduce the risk of spreading the contagion. Motorcycle taxis should be given the same consideration to operate. The community and the economy need as many safe and efficient public transport modes to survive and overcome the pandemic. That's our Motoring Forum this week, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today. In line with our lifelong commitment to promote road safety, here now is this week's road safety tip, brought to you by Toyota Motor Philippines. Isa sa mga pinakamahalagang traffic rules ay ang pagsunod sa traffic lights. Maging ikaw ay pedestrian or driver, you should always learn how to obey the traffic lights. Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. From Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, here is Payong Choper this week.
Payong Choper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Jake, isang kapwa nyo choper. Loading and unloading ng mga pasahero sa tamang lugar lamang gawin.
May tamang lugar para magbaba at magsakay ng pasahero. Kaya doon ihinto ang iyong sasakyan. Iwasan makaabala sa ibang motorista, kaya itabi mo ang sasakyan mo. Huwag sa gitna ng daan pumarada. Huwag ka nang dumagdag sa problema natin sa kalsada. Matuto kang sumunod sa batas trapiko.
Kung ayaw mong maabala, huwag ka ring mangabala. Makisama ka, kaya't huwag basta humarang sa kalsada. Ito po si Jake Gonzalez, Payong Choper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo choper.
What do we go for? We go for experience. go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next. We start with the latest news and developments. Results are out from the qualifying leaderboard challenge for the first round of the 2020 GR Supra GT Cup Asia Philippines, Toyota's first virtual motorsports competition. There were 21 qualifiers in the sporting class of the competition for participating e-racers using the GR Supra in the Gran Turismo sport game on PlayStation. In a tight qualifying leaderboard challenge, Miguel San Mateo topped the sporting class with a time of 2 minutes, 8.631 seconds, followed by Luis Moreno with a time of 2 minutes, 8.725 seconds, and Terence Liave with 2 minutes, 9.098 seconds. The other qualifiers are Luis Gono, Paul Basse, Estefano Rivera, Mark Voltaire Elman, Fritz Nathaniel Cabidoy, Corban Guerrero, Jason Arellano, Ralph Biancaflor, Richard Dean Jose, Alex Brown, Ian Soquila, Raboni Benaventura, Kevin Puatu, Ivan Cagapiet, John Dizon, Jeff De Vera, Rafi Rabe, and Nathaniel Cruz. In the promotional class, Gab Sinieres landed best among all other qualifiers with a time of 2 minutes 9.042 seconds. Second was Lance Gubala with 2 minutes and 9.886 seconds. And Jose Luis Altoveros third with 2 minutes and 10.150 seconds. The other qualifiers are Noel Halbuena, Lance Padilla, Julius Ipagaguirre, Michael Sicat, Jether Miole, JP Lanyog, Renel De Leon, Ronel Tumangday, Patrick Hess, Clark Lalu, Anton Andres, Leandro Miranda, Nuo Adar, Eric De Guzman, Peter Amadus Lo, Carl Adrian Regino, Sidney Cabusas, Martin Tan, Dino Ang, Nico David, and Dick Lecias. In the special junior class race for entries below 18 years old, Russell Cabrera emerged the champion. Second place went to real racing phenom Inigo Anton, and third was Sebastian Soto. The qualifiers in the respective sporting and promotional classes will be divided into 3 lobbies for the semi-final heats. The top 3 players from each lobby will then compete in the final heats of the first round, which took place on July 30. Points will be awarded based on the finishing positions of racers in the final heat of each round. The 2020 GR Supra GT Cup Asia Philippines will have 3 rounds. Entries must sign up and qualify for each round. The entry for the most accumulated points for 3 rounds will be deemed the champion and represent the country in the 2020 GR Supra GT Cup Asia. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the local auto industry.
Toyota has given the Vios, its best-selling car, its latest set of upgrades. A glossy black front grille, 3-tier LED headlight, and daytime running lights for G variant, which also gets 16-inch alloy wheels and LED rear combination lights.
The Vios is truly an upgrade. It looks a lot better, and because of the change in the front fascia, because of the new LED light. So we think that, and we believe that anyone who gets attracted to it and purchases it would be leveling up in terms of their drive by owning the Vios.
Other G upgrades include smart entry and push start, paddle shifters, as well as drive modes Eco and Sport for the G CVT variant, and back camera. The G, E, and XLE variants all get LED fog lamps too. They also come with SRS airbags, anti-lock braking system with electronic brake distribution plus brake assist, vehicle stability control, and hill start assist control. Buyers also get the option to choose to have 3 to 7 SRS airbags for some variants. Meanwhile, Toyota Motor Philippines offers 12 Vios variants to meet all possible need or budget. From the base MT model priced at 671,000 pesos, all the way up to the G CVT priced at 1,071,000 pesos for the white pearl or 1,056,000 pesos for the ones in other special colors.
Being a locally assembled vehicle is already in itself helping drive the economy ever since, not only during this pandemic, but whatever vehicle or for each vehicle that we are able to sell would mean we're helping thousands of team members and their families. Buying Filipino-made products would be your share in reviving the economy again, and hopefully we can recover sooner than what we are anticipating or expecting.
Mitsubishi has bulked up the Strada pickup and dubbed it the Athlete. The Strada Athlete sports black dynamic shield, black front bumper garnish, 18-inch black alloy wheels, black roof, styling bar and side decal accents that match a new two-tone interior finish. We are very excited to introduce the Strada Athlete here in the Philippines. Its robust and sporty design best represents the capabilities of our truck, said Mutsuhiro Oshikiri, President and CEO of Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation. With 40 years of truck engineering heritage, the Strada has been refined to become a well-balanced road warrior that does not only conquer rough terrains, but also provides advanced technology, comfort and safety to its driver and passenger, he added. Mitsubishi has signed up Brandon Vera, one heavyweight champion, as brand ambassador for the Strada Athlete. For us, Brandon Vera best represents the Mitsubishi Strada Athlete as his characteristics reflect the very definition of a true athlete, said Mark Parulat, MMPC Brand Communications Department Head. Apart from being a successful world champion in mixed martial arts, Brandon is considered a role model by many followers of the sport because of his discipline, attitude, and dedication to the best version of himself. Like the Mitsubishi Strada Athlete, the newly enhanced pickup variant of Mitsubishi Motors designed to contend with the very best trucks available in the market, he added. The Nissan logo is undergoing another change. This time, the redesign is meant to signal the evolution of Nissan as not only a traditional vehicle manufacturer, but also an innovative provider of mobility and services in a digitally connected world. The new Nissan logo is first seen in the all-new, all-electric Ariya crossover, which Nissan debuted in an online event viewed all over the world. as the new icon of Nissan Intelligent Mobility, designed to fully embody the three pillars of intelligent driving, intelligent power, and intelligent integration. The Aria is not only fitting, but was also a key influence on the tailoring of the logo, said Nissan. The Nissan Aria is our latest electrified vehicle packed with advanced technology, said Alfonso Albaiza, Nissan Motor Company Senior Vice President of Global Design. It's the perfect platform for this new logo. Geely Philippines reports a great June for sales for the local distributor of Geely vehicles. The Geely Coolray was the best-selling 5-seater subcompact crossover in the month of June with 154 units sold, based on the latest reports of Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines Incorporated and the Association of Vehicle Importers and Distributors Incorporated. Geely Philippines also reports it ranked 10th in total sales for the month of June, selling a combined 184 units of the Coolray and the newly launched Azkara, a company record for total monthly sales. It added that it had sold 549 units in the first half of the year. This is definitely a very positive development as every auto brand tries to bounce back during this post-ECQ period. We are very delighted of this outcome since it is mainly driven by one model, the Coolray, and only one showroom located in North EDSA, said Sojitz G Auto Philippines President and CEO Mikihisa Takayama. We expect Geely sales to improve further as we open new dealership outlets and further complement our product lineup this year, he added. GAC Motors has added another dealership to its roster. Legado Motors Incorporated, official distributor of GAC Motor in the Philippines, announced that it has signed an agreement with Masa Mart Business Center headed by Jesse Royo to open a GAC dealership in Quezon City. GAC Quezon City is the newest dealership of GAC Motor in the country. The others are located in Pasig, Las Piñas, Alabang, Pampanga, Tarlac, Imus, and Cebu. GAC Motor Quezon City will be offering the following models: GA4 Sedan, available in 1.5-liter manual, 1.5-liter automatic, and 1.3-liter gas turbo automatic. GS4 Subcompact SUV, GM8 Premium 7-seater minivan, available in GT and GE Premier variants. GS8 Large SUV, available in 4x2 GE Premier, 4x2 GE Sports, and 4x4 GL variants. And GS3 Subcompact Crossover, available in 1.3-liter gas turbo, 1.5-liter Premier, and 1.5-liter GS.
Motoring Today now brings you our Car of the Week on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. Before COVID-19 locked down communities and shut down the economy, pickup truck sales were surprisingly strong and steady for the car makers and distributors which had them in their lineups. Even more surprising was that the special edition 4x4 variants drove sales. As authorities began easing community quarantine restrictions and reopening the economy, Isuzu Philippines launched the 2020 D-Max Bundock 4x4.
To the most loyal patrons, the D-Max pickup has always been true to Isuzu's promise to be a reliable partner in providing transport for business and family. And as the recent launch of the D-Max Bundock 4x4 showed, many owners also relied on and trusted the D-Max to take them safely to roads and trails less traveled, or even trails yet to be discovered. In rolling out the 2020 D-Max Bundock 4x4 in these trying, difficult, and uncertain times, Isuzu said it wants to encourage people to learn to live life differently. At the subliminal level, Perhaps one message Isuzu wants to impart with the Boondock variants is for people to learn to face the difficulties with boldness and confidence, and continue to enjoy life amid a pandemic. Certainly, the 2020 Isuzu D-Max Boondock 4x4 manual transmission cuts a bold and strong figure on the road. With bulked up bumpers and fenders, plus roof rails, the D-Max Boondock 4x4 is 5.295 meters long, 1.860 meters wide, and 1.9 meters tall. The wheelbase measures 3.095 meters. The D-Max Boondock 4x4 boasts a ground clearance of 247 millimeters riding on a suspension system, featuring independent double wishbones with coil springs in front and semi-elliptical leaf springs in the rear, and both using monotube nitrogen-charged shock absorbers. Adding to height, as well to the bold look, are a 265 by 70 R17 all-terrain tires wrapped around 17-inch matte black alloy wheels. One could easily tell the D-Max is a Boondock variant with those eye-catching decals and graphics depicting Mount Apo, the tallest active volcano in Mindanao and the Philippines. The exterior also features bi-LED projector headlamps with integrated daytime running lamp, dark gray radiator grille, engine hood garnish, front bumper guard. To the side are lip-type over fender, side molding, and steel honeycomb side stepboards with the Boondock logo. The rear gets LED combination lamps as well as bold Boondock graphic. The Boondock also comes with a high mount stop lamp. Getting into the Boondock 4x4 can be a challenge for some, even with the cool and functional stepboard. The Boondock comes with a passive entry system, which means no need to take keys out of pocket to unlock the doors. Welcoming driver and passengers into the roomy double cab are comfortable perforated leather seats, front bucket seats with adjustable headrests, back pockets, and convenience hooks. Rear seating for 3 has a cushion that splits 60-40. The backrest comes with 2 adjustable headrests and a center armrest. The dashboard and instrumentation looks quite functional, but with a multi-information display. Infotainment comes from a system using an 8-inch full-touch monitor and plays CD, DVD, radio tuner, has Bluetooth and iPod connectivity, a navigation system, as well as an auxiliary in-jack, USB portal, and AV in. It also is ready to add a tire pressure monitoring system. The audio systems can be controlled using buttons on the leather-wrapped 3-spoke steering wheel. On highways and on the roughest of trails, the D-Max Boondock offers comfort and convenience features that are now standard in most self-respecting luxury sedans. Air conditioning, power windows, door locks, 15 storage compartments, 10 cup holders, 12-volt accessory socket, and 3 USB charging ports. A push of the button starts the D-Max engine, a 4-cylinder, blue-power diesel engine with turbocharger and intercooler that generates 177 PS at 3,600 revolutions per minute and 380 Newton meters of torque at 1,800 to 2,800 RPM. In this 2020 Isuzu D-Max Boondock 4x4, power is transmitted to 2 or 4 wheels via 6-speed manual transmission with gear shift indicator. A terrain command select dial makes it easy to shift from 2 to 4-wheel drive, even up to 100 kilometers per hour. On and off the road, the driver benefits from a host of new technology aimed at helping with car control and prevent accidents like anti-lock brake system, electronic brake force distribution, brake assist, brake override system, electronic stability control, traction control system, hill start assist, and hill descent control. Reversing is made easier and safer by a reverse sensing system complemented by a reverse camera. Driver and front seat passenger are protected by front dual airbags and ELR seatbelts with pretensioner and load limiter. 3 passengers on the second row also get ELR seatbelts. Child safety isn't forgotten. There are child seat tethers on the second row, as well as child-proof rear door locks. The 2020 Isuzu D-Max Boondock 4x4 MT is provisioned with all the features one should need in order to live life differently, confidently, and bold in these difficult times.
The D-Max Boondock 4x4 should be among vehicles that convince many in these difficult times to go ahead and add a new fun and practical vehicle for the family. That's our featured vehicle on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems, not just in the metro but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems that were referred to us or we ourselves see and hope to fully find solutions for. Here's our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
The EDSA busway project of transport authorities has been controversial for several weeks now. In particular, this is because of incidents where private motorists, both on 2 wheels and in 4, were seen using the busway when in fact it is intended to be an exclusive and dedicated lane for city buses under the EDSA carousel route. But what made it more controversial? It was when city buses under the said route were recorded overspeeding or hitting concrete barriers that separate the busway from the rest. This posed danger to motorists and have resulted to online flack, especially that most were posted on social media. Some were wondering why these are happening. Is the lane too narrow? Is there even a speed limit implemented for the buses? We will find out next week as we ask transport officials regarding these issues.
That's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And should you yourself encounter motoring problems that need immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. See the details being flashed on your screens. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 34th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. Stay healthy and be vigilant at all times. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa.
Happy motoring!